Disturbance, and we have declared an unlawful assembly. Leave the area now, or you'll be subject to uses of force to inflict rank related to the evacuation. Leave now. This is the Portland Police Bureau. This is a civil disturbance, and we have declared an unlawful assembly. Leave the area now, or you'll be subject to uses of force to inflict rank.
Hey guys, welcome back to Drop the Mic. We have delayed our usual show, so we won't be talking about the disaster artists. And weirdly enough, Diego isn't with us right now. We're not sure where he's at. Hopefully he'll pop in at some point. First of all, I'm the Swan. We have a very special guest for this episode, Emma Duenas.
Hi, what's up?
Hey, good.
Along with James Warney, or DC James. You know?
Yes, whatever. Hey, Marvel James.
An artist and Admiral Atlas. The nation is in a very somber time right now, so we thought it wouldn't be. It didn't feel right to just kind of keep going along with what we usually do, and so we opted to talk about current news and the kind of uprising that's happening in cities all over.
I was just going to say, especially this whole episode is dedicated to George Floyd and awareness of his murder in the streets. So I wanted to dedicate that to him. I'm pretty sure, unless you've been living under a rock or choose not to acknowledge what's going on, I'm pretty sure you know what's happening right now all over the world, pretty much. It's not just happening in America, but it's happening, everywhere. So,
everywhere, all over the world.
Yeah.
Also, right now it's Wednesday, June 3rd.
Yes. And so George Floyd died May 25th, 2020. So it's been just a little bit over a week, and a lot has happened.
Yeah, a lot has escalated in the past 3 days, and it's been getting really, really fast. A lot of people are getting murdered out in the streets. A lot of people are being thrown in jail. There's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of anger and just upset people that are revolting and standing up for themselves, and it's just chaotic, especially with an enabler like Trump out there, pretty much encouraging, direct quote, if they loot, they shoot. And, there's a lot of certain things that we're going to talk about. So sit back and relax, and
get ready for that, dude.
I feel like we should probably start locally about what's happening here in San Diego, because it's pretty, it's making a big impact on not only, here, but it's making national news. And just the first couple of things is the shooting and snipering of the lady in La Mesa during the protest. She was shot directly in between her eyes, and she pretty much lost one of her eyes and got suffered brain damage, concussion, and she's never going to be the same. And she was wrongfully shot during a peaceful protest by La Mesa police, and they still haven't provided an answer or anything. That's still
no
under
apology.
Leslie Furcon is her name.
Correct. Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on that and how everything played out? Especially being from San Diego, we're a San Diego podcast, and it's just literally in our backyard.
First thing is, why are the cops right now not being held accountable for doing headshots on people? That's not rubber bullet or not. That's unacceptable. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be And the fact that they try to say that the officer's sights were off, and that's why he hit her directly in the middle of her head.
No matter if the officer's sights were off, he pulled that trigger, aiming that direction, dude. Like, no matter what the fuck you did.
That's a pretty.
How bad can your sights be off? I would assume they're pretty much taught to shoot center mass, which would be like the stomach area.
Yeah, that's a good.
I mean, that's about 4. I don't, depending on her height and everything, but that's like 2 or 3 feet difference in from your stomach to your forehead.
Also, if you guys seen the video, she's actually taking like a live stream, like a POV point of view, like a selfie cam, and she's actually trying to walk through the protesters, and she's not even doing anything wrong other than just walking. I can understand if they shot people in the arm, leg, or in the in the body, upper torso, that were trying to cause harm to other people, lighting shit on fire, or breaking windows, or doing something. But she was literally walking through the crowd, and for somebody they must have just been following her on a lead, and just randomly saw her and took her and shot her in the head, dude, of all places, in the middle. That's like almost like impossible to get. That's like a bullseye, That's like accidentally getting a bullseye,
It's so fucked up. They have no comments on all the shit they have done during everything right now, dude. Like, they have very little to say.
And no news on. This is a question, but no news on any like officers' names that might have been the ones who had taken that shot.
I don't think they won't release it.
Nothing.
They won't release his name.
They did a news conference today where her sons were speaking out, and a lot of people were speaking out, and they said that they asked, and like the police chief, he's like, everything's being investigated right now. I don't know, like basically saying he doesn't know, he can't say anything. And it's like, dude, he's the main guy in charge. He should be. He should know. He should know.
What does investigating by the police mean?
I'm guessing. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
That's a nice way of saying, like, we cannot tell you anything at this point.
We can't tell you what we're doing. Yeah.
One thing I want to point out is I know cops that they have this like I think it's called like a blue wall or blue shield of silence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So basically, if you've never heard that, I don't know what it is. It's cops don't rat on other cops, or they don't. If they see a cop doing something bad or kind of bending the rules, they won't report it because you're not supposed to, report on your own, on your own people.
The Marines have Semper Fi,
which is totally. I mean, if you see someone doing something, that's unjust and against the law, if someone else was doing it, rather than a cop, I mean, that you should report that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just compare it to. So I'm a preschool teacher, right? I am by law a mandated reporter, which means if I see abuse of a child, I by law have to report it, or else like I could get in trouble, my school could get in trouble, So there is that chain right there. So basically is saying, if another teacher sees me do something, oh no, she's a teacher too, so I'm not going to say something. I'm not going to say that she's doing something bad. Like it doesn't go. Like you can't say for cops and then
that's how police should be held accountable too. They should hold each other accountable for those types of actions. If they see another police officer doing something wrong, it should be reported immediately. But I would assume that there is some type of fear of repercussion of losing your job, or either being put on some type of shit duty where you're basically useless as a police officer.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Don't do nothing bad, and then you won't get reported. Just like me, I know I do my job the right way, so I don't get fired or put in jail.
Right.
I feel that this is the highest level of witnessing your employee fuck up at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, besides local law enforcement and military, like how, like, okay, I could understand, like, if a dude at fucking, Pizza Hut was stealing pizzas, you're like, okay, whatever. The dude's stealing pizzas. But this is somebody killing somebody, and you're a cop. Who do you call to stop the
exactly.
cops?
These are people in power.
Yeah.
How there's, it's almost helpless, and we become angry, and that's why people are so up in arms, because who do you call if you can't call the cops? You're going to call the cops on the cops, and they're just going to do the, like you said, the blue wall, and just kind of just throw it under the bridge or sweep it under the rug, Yeah. So that's why people are starting to film them more, expose them more, and we're starting to see it more. It's because we're out there more, We didn't see as much of it because people were not reporting as much as they were acknowledging it. But now that there's a lot of these protests and there's people that are taking the time to actually hack, police lines and listen to what they're doing and film them and keep a close eye on them, they're exposing them for being corrupt as much as like a fucking movie, dude. Like it's a movie out there.
Like, it seems unreal.
Yeah, and I honestly think they're all going to get away with it. And if they've been doing it right here in front of our face, what about the shit we don't see for however long it's been,
Since people were enslaved. That's when police was created, because people broke out of slavery. So they had to create police to protect the white people.
It started off as guards and then went to police.
Yeah.
So they basically made slave masters. They gave them a badge. They made ex-slave masters police, and they just kind of,
You guys know how, like, that whole Me Too movement and, women rising up and survivors and all that. And now I've heard men say, like, oh, shit, like, I'm kind of scared now, I don't know if I've acted in a wrong way or whatever, and men are scared and more cautious. Like, don't you think a cop would be feeling the same way?
A police officer should feel like that regardless.
Exactly.
They're the ones. If a police officer, they're obligated to their community to serve, to serve their community and hold each other accountable, and that should. That should be one of the number one rules as a police officer.
According to my little cousin lately, though, he said that the right to serve is gone. Now they're just cops. They're just there. They're an enforcement. They're nothing else now more than that. Like that's gone now.
I don't think there's any more honor in being a cop.
Yeah, dude, that's gone now. They're there to point a gun, be hurt. They're there to fucking control everything. Like, it's control.
Basically to be an enforcer.
Yeah.
And it sucks on, like, young people that are, have aspirations to be like, yeah, I want to be a cop to, help and protect people. And, like, honestly, find a different, like, get a different dream, dude. Like, get a different job. We don't need any more cops. We need more educators, more community helpers in other areas. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're going to try to be a cop, like, you should definitely reconsider your career.
That's why...
I feel like... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, a lot of people have been reaching out to me and asking me what ACAB stands for. And it's all cops are bastards. And the reason why that's been created is because of the blue wall that James is mentioning. When you have one corrupt cop, say in your police station, and the rest of them don't say anything, and they allow him to keep hurting people or planning things on people, whatever he's doing wrong, then that means that entire station is corrupt.
Exactly. It's the whole system.
By affiliation.
Yeah, and that's what's going on, is until we tear down and rebuild the systematic racism that